A quiet storm always hits the hardest, because no one hears it coming, but it leaves nothing standing. They play dirty, threw everything at you like wild dogs in the dark. Gossip, lies, betrayal, fake smiles, silent treatments, manipulation cloaked in charm. They wanted to watch you bleed emotionally. They wanted to watch your light flicker out. They didn't come to fight fair, they came to destroy. But here's what they didn't count on. You weren't standing alone. The universe was behind you the whole time. They thought they were fighting you, but they were really swinging at something bigger than they could ever understand. And now they're left swinging at shadows, confused, frustrated, and obsessing over a war they already lost. Like this message so far? Then pause for a second. Like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment for other chosen ones to find their light. Every action you take pushes this message out further. When more of us rise, the universe moves faster. Now, back to you, the chosen. You didn't just survive what they threw at you. You made it look easy. Your silence was surgical. Your calm was lethal. You didn't scream. You didn't stoop to their level. You didn't clap back. And yet, you crushed them. Why? Because maturity is the sharpest weapon of all. Your emotional control wasn't weakness, it was warfare. They thought your lack of response meant they had won. But in truth, it was the final move in a game they didn't even understand. They can't stop thinking about you now, not because you chased them, but because you didn't. Let that sink in. There is something haunting about a person who doesn't flinch when others try to break them. That's the kind of strength people fear, but can't look away from. You are that strength. You carry the energy of someone who's been touched by the universe itself. And that power, it doesn't come with noise, it comes with presence. With that still, heavy silence that shakes people at their core. You walked away with dignity, and that's exactly why they can't stop watching your life from the sidelines. You're not just on their mind, you're an addiction now. And I need you to understand this. Your enemies are not losing sleep because you argued back. They're losing sleep because you didn't need to. You didn't explain, you didn't defend, you just evolved. And evolution is terrifying to people who live in cycles. You broke the pattern. They can't. You are the living reminder that some people cannot be controlled, caged, or manipulated. You are the proof that the universe always chooses those who walk through fire without letting it burn their soul. But don't you ever dare forget, you were never alone. Stop doubting your own light. Stop thinking no one saw what you went through. The universe did. And it responded by giving you peace in the middle of war. That peace? That's your evidence that you are chosen. The power you carry is not loud, but it's permanent. It's in your energy. It's in the way rooms shift when you walk in. It's in the way they still watch you, hoping for a crack. But you've given them nothing to work with, and that's why they're spiraling. So don't take this lightly. You're not just someone who made it out. You're someone they'll never forget. And as much as they hate to admit it, your strength became their obsession. They wanted your downfall. What they got instead was your glow up. So if this is hitting your soul right now, good. That's how you know you're not just watching, you're remembering who you are. If you're really walking that chosen path, this won't just sound true. It'll feel true. Drop the number 77 in the comments if you're done reacting and ready to own your silence, your glow, your power. Because this isn't just a message, it's a mirror. And if you're still here, it's not by accident. The universe pulled you to this moment for a reason. Now let's break this down step by step. And trust me, if you're truly chosen, you won't be able to look away. Let's get into it. Number 1. They threw stones and you built a throne. You tried to bury me, but I was seed, and now you're choking on the garden. They plotted, planned, and played every dirty card in the book because they thought they understood you. They thought if they pulled just the right string, you'd unravel. If they pushed the right button, you'd explode. They wanted the meltdown, the chaos, the drama, because that's where they thrive. Low places, dark games. They fed off confusion, controlled narratives, rewrote truth until lies felt real. But here's what they didn't expect. You weren't playing the same game. They came with fire, and you showed up with calm. They came to break you, and you came to build yourself in silence. That silence, that was their breaking point. Not because it was weak, but because it was untouchable. When you didn't defend yourself, you stole the only weapon they had. They were prepared for a fight. You gave them a mirror instead. And now they're stuck looking at themselves with no chaos to hide behind, no false story to sell. That's what makes the chosen different. You don't need noise to make impact. Your stillness speaks louder than their screams ever could. And yes, maybe you questioned yourself at times. Maybe you sat in that silence thinking, am I really the strong one? Why do I always feel alone in this? But let me say it plain. You weren't alone. You were aligned. The universe doesn't send noise. It sends alignment. It starts shifting things around you. It pulls away people who pretend, situations that drain, and illusions that distract. It clears the path for those it chooses. But because it looks like loss, you mistook it for abandonment. Let's be real, some of you doubted your own power. You looked at the silence and the isolation and thought it was punishment. You forgot who you are. You forgot what it means to be chosen. So let me remind you, being chosen doesn't mean comfort. It means responsibility. It means pressure. It means transformation by fire, not applause. You don't glow because life was easy. You glow because you kept walking when everything told you to break. So why are they freaking out now? Because they felt your shift before they ever saw it. They felt your emotional detachment like a cold slap to the ego. They felt your energy leave the room long before your body did. You didn't chase. You didn't explain. You just let them drown in the emptiness they created for you. And now they're gasping for the attention they once took for granted. They wanted to trap you in a game of reactions. But you became the glitch in their system. You didn't just avoid the trap, you exposed how weak it was. You moved like the system was never designed to hold you in the first place. Because it wasn't. When the universe chooses you, it rewrites the script. It doesn't need your enemies to approve, it just needs you to believe. But even then, you hesitated, you questioned. And while they were launching attacks, you were stuck wondering if your light was even real. Let me be blunt. That doubt, that hesitation, it nearly cost you everything. Because when you start doubting your light, you give darkness permission to move. You have to know what you carry. You have to understand that being chosen means being targeted. Not because you're weak, but because you're different. And different shakes the system. Here's the truth they don't want you to realize. The system they tried to trap you in wasn't just emotional manipulation, it was spiritual resistance. It was the universe watching you to see if you'd rise or retreat. And the moment you chose silence over chaos, maturity over drama, peace over ego. That's when everything shifted. They weren't fighting you, they were fighting the universe moving through you. That's why they're haunted now. That's why they're obsessed. That's why they keep checking your life from a distance, hoping for a sign of collapse that never comes. Because your calm became their crisis. You want metaphor? Here's one. They tried to burn you, thinking they'd watch you turn to ash. But instead, you turned into smoke. Everywhere, in everything, impossible to grasp, but impossible to ignore. They breathe you in without even meaning to. You became part of their air, and now they choke on the very presence they tried to erase. And now their reality is flipped. You were never meant to fall into the trap. You were meant to reveal it, to expose their weakness with your strength. That's the gift of being chosen, not revenge, but revelation. You reveal everything just by existing in truth, just by not breaking. So stop holding back, stop dimming, stop questioning if the pain had a purpose. It did. The ones who tried to crush you were actually the hands that activated your awakening. Don't thank them, don't curse them, just outgrow them. And understand this: they're not scared of your strength, they're scared of your restraint, because anyone can clap back. But only the powerful can outgrow in silence. They built the trap thinking you'd fall. Instead, you rose. And now they're the ones stuck, watching you walk away, unable to unsee what you've become. An addiction, a symbol of everything they couldn't control, a reminder that they never had power over you, only the illusion. The game is over, the trap failed, and you're not just free, you're unforgettable. Number 2. Your silence was the sentence, and your absence, the execution. Sometimes the loudest scream is the one that never makes a sound. You didn't yell, you didn't plead, you didn't throw your truth at people who were committed to misunderstanding it. You just disappeared. And that was the loudest thing you could have done. Because your absence isn't just space, it's a statement. It's the echo of everything you didn't say crashing down around them. It's the peace they couldn't poison. It's the silence they can't silence. They expected drama, tears, explanations. Instead, you gave them a blank space, and that space is suffocating them. You see, control isn't just about manipulation, it's about access. And the moment you cut off that access, they felt it like a system shutting down. Your absence disrupted their entire emotional economy. No more pushing your buttons to get reactions. No more guilt-tripping, baiting, or spinning stories to make themselves the victim. Now they're stuck in a house full of echoes, trying to fight shadows that don't respond anymore. And that's what burns them. You left without warning, without theatrics, without even a final word. You just stopped playing the part they wrote for you. And suddenly the show fell apart. Because you were the glue the whole time. You were the supply, the reaction, the proof they used to justify their twisted version of reality. But once you stopped giving them that, they were forced to sit alone with what they created. Now, they're spiraling. Not because they miss you, but because they miss the control they had over you. That panic they're feeling, that's not heartbreak, it's ego death. It's the scream of someone who thought they were the puppeteer, only to realize they were never in charge to begin with. And here's the part they'll never admit. Your absence is forcing them to face themselves, and they don't like what they see. When you were around, you absorbed the blame. You were the scapegoat, the emotional punching bag. the one who always overreacted or misunderstood. But now, with no one left to point fingers at, every ugly truth they buried is surfacing. And it's not a pretty sight. They're left to sit in the raw mess of their own making, the lies, the manipulation, the projection. It's all rotting in the silence you left behind, and they feel it every single day. Your absence isn't passive, it's powerful. It's a mirror they can't escape, a weight they can't lift, a void that echoes louder than any confrontation ever could. That's the thing about being chosen. Your power doesn't scream. It withdraws. It removes itself. And when that power pulls away, it reveals how hollow everything else is. You didn't need to destroy them. You just needed to leave. And the absence itself did the rest. Still doubting yourself? Still wondering if you did the right thing by walking away quietly? Then let me ask you this. If your absence wasn't powerful, why are they still watching you? Why are they still bringing up your name? Why are they still trying to mimic your energy while pretending you never mattered? Because deep down, they know the moment you stopped explaining yourself was the moment they lost every ounce of leverage. They know silence is the most dangerous sound when it comes from someone who used to explain, defend, and fight. You've shifted, and that shift is screaming through your absence. You didn't just walk away, you reclaimed your peace. You didn't just go quiet, you restructured the balance of power. You showed them that healing doesn't always come with a speech, that maturity doesn't need a stage, and that true strength often looks like vanishing from the chaos with no explanation at all. You showed them the storm isn't always loud. Sometimes it walks away and lets the silence do the damage. The universe watched all of it unfold. It watched them take advantage of your kindness. It watched them twist your loyalty. And when the time came, the universe didn't need to crash down on them. It simply told you to pull back. That was the punishment. That was the judgment. And now they sit in silence, confused, bitter, addicted to the thought of you, checking your updates, reading your old messages, wondering how someone so sensitive became so unfazed, because they thought the real power was in their ability to manipulate you. But they were wrong. The real power was always in your ability to detach, to leave without hate, to vanish without burning bridges, because you knew they'd collapse on their own. Your absence became their exposure, and they feel it. They feel it in every failed connection they try to use to replace you. They feel it in every moment of peace they can't find. They feel it in the silence of your energy, no longer filling their world. That's the power of the chosen. You don't fight for closure. You become the closing chapter. And once the universe pulls you out of someone's life, it never brings you back just to make them comfortable. You're gone, and they're the ones left haunted. Number 3, they lost their favorite drug, and now the withdrawal is killing them. They never loved you. They loved the way your light made their darkness feel seen. Let's not sugarcoat it. You were their lifeline, and now they're suffocating. Not because you hurt them, not because you lashed out, but because you left, quietly, completely, and without looking back. You didn't slam the door, you just stopped opening it. You cut the cord they were feeding off, and now they're starving in silence. They're in withdrawal, and it's brutal. See, people like this, manipulators, users, emotional vampires, they don't crave love. They crave control. They crave access. They crave reactions, attention, your energy. And when you were around, you fed them without even knowing it. Every "it's okay" you gave after they crossed a line. Every time you picked up when you should have blocked. Every time you let them talk circles around you, just to keep the peace. That was fuel. That was supply. And they were addicted. But the moment you recognized the pattern, the moment you chose peace over chaos, they felt the shift. And now, that sweet supply is gone. They're hungry, not for you as a person, but for what you gave them. Comfort without accountability, space without boundaries, loyalty without limits. Now they're trying to fill that void, loudly, desperately, posting fake smiles, throwing parties that feel more like funerals, reaching out to people they once talked trash about, trying to prove to the world they're thriving. But the loudest people are usually the emptiest, and behind all the noise, all the distractions, they're dealing with something they can't hide: starvation. They're gasping for emotional oxygen, because your energy was the air they breathed, and now they're drowning in their own mess. What's worse, they told themselves they didn't need you. They convinced others that losing you was no big deal. They were too emotional, they said, too sensitive, too dramatic. That was the cover story. But the real story? They're checking your page when no one's looking, replaying old conversations, bringing up your name in rooms where they swore you didn't matter, because you do. You always did. They didn't realize your value when they had it. Because they were so busy feeding off your light, they never thought it would go out. They assumed you'd always be there, waiting, giving, forgiving. But you're not the same anymore. You've evolved. You've reclaimed your light. And they can't stand it. That's why the silence is driving them mad. That's why they keep pretending they've moved on. Because deep down, they know they're going through withdrawal. And the worst part is, there's no fix. They can't replace your energy. They can't find your frequency in someone else. You weren't just a good person. You were chosen. And your presence, it was a privilege. Let's get something straight. They don't miss you because they loved you. They miss you because you fed them. And now they're starving, scratching at closed doors, wondering why nothing feels the same. You were their comfort blanket in chaos, their emotional punching bag when things went wrong, their safe zone when consequences came knocking. And now they're standing alone, forced to face themselves with no buffer, no audience, no distraction. And I know some of you are still wrestling with guilt. You're still wondering, was I too cold? Did I cut them off too harshly? Let me answer that for you. No, you finally gave them what they gave you, nothing. And that balance is what they can't survive. This isn't revenge. This is reality. This is the collapse of a false structure that was never built on truth. It was built on what you gave, and now that you're done giving, it's crumbling. That's the power of the chosen. You don't destroy people, you just remove yourself. And without your light, their whole world dims. Let them pretend. Let them play the I'm unbothered role. Let them keep posting, keep bragging, keep laughing too loud. Because behind the scenes, the starvation is real. The silence is eating them alive. And the withdrawal? That's permanent. There is no coming back from this. Not because you're bitter, but because you finally know who you are. You finally see your energy for what it is. Rare, sacred, irreplaceable. And you're no longer giving it away like it's cheap. The universe doesn't waste chosen energy. It doesn't let you keep feeding people who only take. When you walk away, it's divine timing. Even if it feels lonely, even if it hurts. Because while they're starving in the wreckage of their own mess, you're rising, you're healing, you're attracting peace. And that peace, it's proof you did the right thing. They lost their favorite drug, and now they're left craving what they'll never touch again. Number 4. The glow after the storm is what's blinding them now. They thought you were a phase. You turned out to be their awakening. Now the real pain begins, not the kind that comes with chaos and arguments, but the kind that creeps in when the world goes quiet. That sharp, cold silence that fills the space you once occupied. It's deafening now. It's hollow. It's eating at them like rust on steel. Because for the first time, they have to sit in the absence of the very thing they swore they didn't need. You. Withdrawal is ugly. It's raw. It hits late at night when the noise dies down, and all that's left are the thoughts they tried to outrun. And those thoughts, they're ruthless. Why did I push them away? Why didn't I appreciate them when I had them? What if no one ever brings that kind of energy into my life again? Because let's be clear, they didn't just lose a person. They lost an experience. You weren't just someone who filled a space. You filled a void in them they didn't even know existed until you left it empty. You were peace in their chaos, light in their storm, consistency in their patterns of destruction. And now they can't recreate it. No matter who they run to, what distractions they pick up, how loud they laugh in public, nothing replaces the frequency you carried. That's the withdrawal. That's the haunting. That's the agony of losing someone the universe had to pull out of their life for their own good. And here's what hits them hardest. You never needed them. They spent so much time convincing themselves that you were the needy one, the emotional one, the one who would never leave. They thought your heart was their safety net. But when you walked, truly walked, they realized they were projecting all along. They were the ones who needed you, not for love, not for partnership, but for survival. Because your energy was the glue holding their broken pieces together. Now the mirror is up, and it's brutal. They see the cracks, they see the patterns, and for the first time, they see that you were never the problem. You were the healing they didn't want to receive. You were the accountability they couldn't face. So they fought you, rejected you, pushed you away like you were the storm, when really you were the shelter. Now look at you, not just gone, but glowing, elevating in silence, healing in peace, rising in ways they never expected. And that's their personal hell, watching you become everything they tried to convince you weren't. Because your success, your evolution, your peace, it's the loudest "I'm done" you could ever give. And they hear it. Trust me, they hear it in every win you don't announce, in every glow-up photo you don't explain, in every day you keep moving without them. That's the thing about chosen ones. The withdrawal doesn't happen because you begged. It happens because you never came back. That finality, that certainty, that unbothered forward movement. It's unbearable for people who expected you to orbit them forever. And still, some part of them is hoping. Hoping that one day you'll reach out. Hoping you'll miss them enough to circle back. But deep down, they know. They know you've outgrown what they offered. They know you've tapped into something real, something they were never prepared to handle. And that realization is their karma. Not because you wished it on them, but because the universe gives everyone a chance to do right by the people it sends. They fumbled that chance. And now they have to live with the echo of what they lost. Here's the most poetic part. While they battle their own shadows, you've become even more magnetic. Your peace radiates. Your maturity is visible. Your silence speaks volumes. You're not just better off without them, you're thriving because you finally chose yourself. They're stuck scrolling, replaying, remembering, and you're busy becoming. That glow they tried to dim, it's blinding them now. That silence they took for weakness, it turned out to be the greatest power move of your life. So let them feel the withdrawal. Let them sit in the regret. That's not your guilt to carry anymore. You did the hard part. You let go. You stayed silent. You walked with dignity. Now, you're not just gone. You're untouchable. And that's the kind of pain they'll never recover from. Number 5. When control slips, the panic mask slips on. They don't want you back. They want their grip back. Don't confuse their panic for love. It always starts the same. A subtle ping. A like on a photo from months ago. A half-hearted, "Hey stranger," a just checking in. And if you're not paying attention, it almost feels innocent. Like maybe, just maybe, they've changed. Maybe they've finally seen your worth. Maybe they're ready to show up right. But let's cut through the noise. This is not growth. It's panic in disguise. It's not love. It's not clarity. It's damage control. They don't miss you because they suddenly realized you were the one. They miss you because they realized they lost control. And nothing shakes a manipulator more than watching their favorite target walk away and stay away. You were the reliable source, the safe zone, the place they could spill their chaos and watch you absorb it with grace. Now that you're unavailable, they're scrambling, not because they miss your heart, but because they miss what your heart gave them. Let's be real. The only reason they're reaching now is because you've shifted. You're not reacting. You're not checking in. You're not begging for clarity, closure, or connection. You're doing something far more dangerous in their eyes. You're thriving without them. And that terrifies them, because you weren't supposed to heal. You weren't supposed to rise. You weren't supposed to realize your own power. The version of you they controlled. That version is gone, and this new, unbothered, glowing version, they don't know how to handle it. So, what do? They test the door. Gently, quietly, strategically. They poke at your boundaries like a thief checking for a loose lock. A random, "How are you?" A meme they tag you in. A comment from someone they know will get back to you. It's all bait. They want to see if the door is cracked, if you'll bite, if they still have access. Because if they can get just one little reaction, one little spark, they'll know they still have a way in. But you're smarter now, wiser. You've seen behind the mask. Because the thing is, when someone really values you, they don't play games. They don't sneak in through the back door when they're ready. They walk straight to the front, speak clearly, and take accountability. They don't breadcrumb you into confusion. But this isn't about reconnection. It's about reinstating control. They hate that you've detached. They hate that your silence speaks louder than their chaos ever did. They hate that you've become someone they can't emotionally manipulate anymore. This mask they're wearing, it's cracking. Underneath all the false charm and soft re-entry is panic, real panic. The kind that comes when someone realizes they're no longer the center of your world. They're not used to being ignored. They're used to calling the shots. And now, they're shut out, left with no audience, no applause, no reaction. Let them panic. Let them squirm. Because they never thought you'd be the one to break free. They thought you needed them to feel whole. They thought your loyalty would always override your self-respect. But they miscalculated. The universe gave you a wake-up call, and you answered. And now they're watching your life through the cracks of the door you slammed shut. They don't see your loneliness. They see your level up. They see the glow, the freedom, the calm, the peace, and the worst part for them, they know they didn't just lose a good thing. They lost access to it. Forever. That's why they're suddenly checking in. That's why they're pretending it's casual. But underneath, the smile is fear. Fear that you've finally outgrown them. Fear that you've upgraded to relationships that don't come with conditions, power games, or emotional debt. Fear that they're no longer relevant to your story. So when they show up wearing that panic mask, don't fall for it. Don't soften your boundaries for their guilt trip. Don't confuse a digital breadcrumb for real accountability. They're not here to heal. They're here to regain position in a life they no longer have permission to occupy. And you've already written them out of your chapter. Let them panic. Let them watch. Let them miss the version of you that no longer exists. Because your growth, your stillness, your refusal to play along, that's their karma. And your comeback. Number 6. Their apology is just another power play. Don't mistake performance for redemption. They don't want to fix what they broke. They just want back in before the door locks for good. Now their ego is screaming in silence. Not because they suddenly developed a conscience, but because they're finally facing the one truth they never wanted to believe. You're gone for real this time. That realization, it's slicing through their pride like a blade, because deep down, they were always convinced you'd come back. You always had before. You forgave. You showed up. You made excuses for their damage. But now, you've closed the door without slamming it. You've disappeared without theatrics, and that quiet exit is tormenting them more than any shouting match ever could. This is when the false redemption begins. They can't stomach the thought of losing control. So what do? They rebrand their manipulation as growth. They'll show up dressed in a costume of healing, speaking in the language of regret and accountability. But it's all rehearsed. Every message, every "I've been thinking about you," every "I realized I messed up," it's all part of a script, a performance written not from remorse, but from panic. They want back in, not to make things right, but to make things familiar, to put you back where they had you, doubting your worth, questioning your memory, stuck in emotional loops they controlled like a puppet master. That's not love. That's fear, disguised as effort. That's ego masquerading as closure. They'll try every angle. Play the victim? Check. Suddenly, doing the work and sharing it on social media? Check. Start drama from a distance to pull you into the storm again? Absolutely. Claim they just need to talk things out for closure? Of course. But let's not pretend this is redemption. This isn't a return. This is a re-entry attempt. And you've seen the pattern enough to know what happens next. Once they're back in, the mask slips. The games resume. The disrespect creeps in again, but slower this time, sneakier. Because now they know they have to work harder to break you. But make no mistake, they still plan to. And you might still wrestle with the doubt. You might hear that voice in your head whisper, what if they really changed? What if they mean it this time? But you've already seen what they do when they have you. You've already tasted the consequences of giving them access. If they truly valued you, they never would have put you in the position to walk away in the first place. That's the truth. They'll never speak aloud. The universe didn't pull you out of that connection to punish you. It pulled you out because your light was being drained, dimmed, manipulated. It didn't break your heart to hurt you. It broke your illusion to free you. Because chosen ones don't get to stay in cycles that stunt their growth. You outgrew the pattern. You stopped feeding the ego. And now they're watching your evolution from the emotional basement they refuse to climb out of. They don't want closure. They want control. They don't want to rebuild what they broke. They want you to forget it ever happened. But healing doesn't happen in revision. It happens in truth. And the truth is, anyone who has to lose you to see your value never saw you in the first place. So now, let them act. Let them perform. Let them pretend. Let them circle back with long texts, deep apologies, emotional pleas. Because behind every word is the same goal, access. And this time, you're the gatekeeper. This is where you reclaim your power fully. Not by arguing, not by exposing them, but by refusing to reopen the door they slammed in your face when they thought you'd never walk away. There's no closure to be had with people who only want to close the distance, not the wounds. So don't confuse attention for effort. Don't confuse their panic for love. And never confuse a false redemption for real growth. They lost you. And this time, they stay lost. Number 7. They're just now seeing your worth, but you've already moved to a level they can't touch. Regret isn't transformation, it's just realization arriving too late to matter. Now comes the moment they never thought would happen, the part where they sit in silence, truly realizing what they lost. Not just your presence, but your power, your peace, your loyalty, your light, the way you made them feel seen, heard, important, without ever asking for much in return. They didn't see it when they had you. And now? Now that absence is a mirror they can't escape. But don't get it twisted. Realization is not the same as change. Just because they're finally understanding your worth doesn't mean they're worthy of stepping back into your life. What they're feeling isn't growth. It's the echo of your silence, the sharp, lingering sting of consequences, the void left behind by someone the universe pulled away for a reason. This is where the cycle tempts you. This is where the test begins. They'll come back with softened eyes, quieter words, maybe even a tear or two. They'll act like they've learned. But ask yourself this: if they truly changed, why did it take losing you to wake them up? That's not evolution. That's desperation. That's panic cloaked in performance. And the question you need to ask yourself isn't, do they mean it now? It's, why did they only start caring when I stopped? Because the truth is, they didn't expect you to grow. They didn't expect you to really detach. They counted on your loyalty to override your logic. They thought your kindness would override your memory. They underestimated the power of a chosen one who's had enough. And now, you've become unpredictable, unreachable. You're glowing in silence, healing without spectacle, rising in directions they can't track. That's what's breaking them. Not just that you left, but that you're thriving without them. They thought you needed them, but your growth has flipped the script, and now they're the ones feeling abandoned, overlooked, irrelevant. You were once an open book they felt entitled to read at will. Now, you're a closed chapter, a locked vault, a story they no longer have access to. And trust me, that drives them mad. Because your silence, your self-respect, your lack of reaction, that's what's exposing them. Every day you don't respond, every time you don't engage, every boundary you hold, that's a spotlight on who they really are. Their charm doesn't work anymore. Their guilt trips bounce off. Their manipulations land on silence. You've outgrown their entire playbook, and they have nothing left to use. Let's be clear. The realization they're having now isn't about you. It's about the consequences of losing you. It's about the power they no longer have, the validation they no longer receive, the access they can't get back. They're realizing that your presence was a privilege, one they misused, underestimated and assumed would always be there. And now that it's gone, they're scrambling. Regret is loud, but don't let it be convincing, because if the universe wanted them in your next chapter, it wouldn't have ended the last one so decisively. The silence between you isn't just a pause, it's a divine boundary, one that protected you from staying stuck in cycles designed to drain your spirit. So here's your warning. This realization they're having, it's the bait. It's the open loop designed to draw you back in. Because if they can get you to respond, to question, to soften, to reopen the door, they know they've still got you, even just a little. And that sliver of access is all they need to start the cycle again. But you're smarter now, stronger, wiser. You know your worth isn't up for debate, and your peace isn't up for negotiation. You don't need to see if they've changed. You don't need closure or confirmation or even an apology. Because their true colors already showed the moment they forced you to walk away, and your true power. It showed the moment you didn't look back. Let them realize what they lost. Let them sit in it. That realization belongs to them. It's not your job to fix it, soothe it, or answer to it. Growth isn't proven in words. It's proven in changed behavior when no one's watching. And so far, all they've proven is that they're sorry they lost access, not sorry they hurt you. So keep rising, keep glowing, keep walking in silence. Because the farther you go, the more obvious it becomes. You were never the one who needed to change. You were the one they never deserved in the first place. Number 8. Now that you're gone, the mirror they avoided is screaming back at them. They built a false reality where you were the problem until you left and the chaos stayed behind. They spent so long projecting their dysfunction onto you that they started to believe their own lies. You were the one who overreacted. You were too sensitive, too dramatic, too emotional. They painted you as the storm while they played the calm, rational victim in every story. And at some point, even you started to wonder, was it me? Was I the one causing all this? But now you're gone, and everything they said you caused is still happening. The chaos didn't leave with you. The manipulation, the mood swings, the constant friction, the endless cycles, they're still there, alive and active, bouncing off the walls of their life like a curse they can't shake. Except now, there's no one left to blame, no one to carry the emotional weight, no one to absorb the backlash, just them, alone with themselves. And this is where the mirror comes in. Not a physical one, a spiritual one, an emotional one, the kind that doesn't lie, the kind that doesn't soften the truth or blur the reflection. Because when you're no longer there to distract them from their own flaws, they're forced to look straight into the truth they've avoided all along. It was never you, it was always them. That realization, it's unbearable. See, while they were busy labeling you as unstable, you were actually responding to instability. While they called you reactive, they were quietly poking the wound, then feigning shock when you bled. They needed you to look like the problem so they could avoid the responsibility of growth. And for a while, it worked. They fed off the image they painted of you, one that kept them looking clean while you took all the hits. But when the universe chose to pull you out of that storm, when you stopped defending yourself and walked away in silence, their illusion started to shatter. Suddenly, their stories didn't hold up. Their excuses didn't make sense. The drama didn't stop. The toxicity didn't fade. And the people around them? They're starting to see it too. Because the common denominator in all this dysfunction is them. And that's what they can't handle. The mirror won't lie. It reflects their truth with brutal clarity. And without you there to distort the view, they can't run from it anymore. It's not just a crack in their reality, it's a full collapse. Now they're spiraling, not outwardly of course. They still wear the mask in public, still laugh too loud, post too confidently, pretend like nothing phases them. But behind the performance, they're unraveling. Because the truth is, you were the one thing holding their delusion together. You were the buffer between their chaos and the consequences. And now that buffer is gone. The storm they blamed on you, it's still raining, and now they're soaking in it alone. They're haunted by that mirror every time they repeat the same pattern and can't pin it on you. Every time they manipulate someone new and it backfires. Every time they lose another connection and realize they can't keep pretending you were the only one who just didn't get them. And what makes this worse for them? You're not just gone. You're thriving. You're glowing. You're at peace. You've reclaimed your power, and the world sees it. That contrast is the final blow. Because if you were really the problem, you should have fallen apart after leaving them, but instead you rose. That's the power of the mirror, not the one facing them, but the one you became. Your calm is a reflection of their chaos. Your peace exposes their instability. Your healing reveals their refusal to grow. You are the evidence they never wanted to exist, the proof that it wasn't you, it was always them. So now they can run, lie, and distract themselves all they want. But the mirror remains. Every failed relationship, every toxic interaction, every lonely night, every silence that echoes louder than a scream. It all leads back to one truth. You were never too much. You were just too aware, too in tune, too real, and too tired of being the emotional dumping ground for someone unwilling to face their own reflection. Let them sit with it. Let them squirm. Let them pretend. Because the mirror doesn't care about performance, it reflects the truth whether they're ready for it or not. And now, with no more scapegoat, no more distraction, and no more chosen one to drain, all they're left with is the ugliest realization of all. They weren't the victim of you. They were the villain in their own story. And now, they're finally forced to watch the film play back, with no one to blame but themselves. And so, we arrive at the final shift, the part they never saw coming. You didn't just survive, you outgrew the entire game. While they obsess, plot, and spin stories, you're living, glowing, evolving. You became the storm they never prepared for, and now your peace is their punishment. If this message hit home, make sure you like, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments to let the universe know you're standing in your power. Share this with another chosen one who needs the reminder. Walking away isn't weakness, it's the ultimate win. Until next time, stay untouchable.